Hey, happy Taco Tuesday to everybody out there. It's CJ Curry, and we're back talking some more NBA player props right here on PrizePicks. Yesterday's video, not too shabby. Sabonis and Niang ended up covering their first half props. Steph Curry was on his way, but ended up going over with 30 seconds left before halftime, but that's the way it goes sometimes. So 2-1 yesterday brings us to about an 8-2 record over our last 3 videos. So pretty hot run here, hitting on 8 of our last 10 picks. If you're not new to the channel, well, I appreciate you coming back. But if you are new, think about subscribing. Get subscribed now. We're on our way to 23,000 subs. I appreciate everybody who's already joined along with me on this sports betting journey. And I appreciate you guys yesterday. You absolutely crushed those likes. Let's set the bar a little bit higher today. Let's see if we could go for more than 199.5 likes. That means I need you to hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying the content here and you appreciate the value that I bring to the table each and every day. All right, so what are we looking at on PrizePicks today? Well, I got 3 different picks lined up for you guys. And got a couple of guards on here and one big fella. We got to show some love to the big fella. So let's start with this first one here. It's Trey Jones of the San Antonio Spurs. He's at 3.5 rebounds, 3.5 boards for Trey Jones. He's actually been doing a pretty darn good job of covering 3.5 boards. And he gets a pretty favorable matchup here against the Dallas Mavericks, who have given up quite a few rebounds to the point guard and shooting guard positions. So whether you consider Trey Jones or Devin Vassell, the guard, point guard, shooting guard, whatever, both guard spots in a pretty plus rebound situation here versus these Dallas Mavericks. But first and foremost, we want to make sure that this is a plus EV play. And how do we do that? Well, you got this game changer of a tool right here. It's the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. This tool right here will put you on the top plays on PrizePicks before they get bumped up, before they get bumped down, or before they get completely taken down off of the PrizePicks board. So kind of look at some Trey Jones props here. You can see that his rebounds and assists over 10.5 is a great way to go. Almost a 54% chance that he clears that number. I'm going to go with the rebounds because it's got a slightly higher hit rate here. 53.3% chance of it going over, and you're seeing a lot of juice on the over across various sports books, which is great because you want the wind at your back. You want to go with the grain instead of against the grain, right? And so in that case, we are getting that with Trey Jones on the rebounds and assists or the rebounds. Like I said, I'm going to focus on the rebounds for the sake of this video. So let's take a look at his recent game logs here. These are games played over the last, 10 games or so. It looks like he's been doing a really good job over the last 10 games of clearing the rebound line here. He's hitting 8 out of his last 10 games. It's an 80% hit rate. So you got to love the consistency that you're seeing here from Trey Jones. If we back this up and look at the last 15 games, I mean, still a pretty solid job over the last 15, hitting at a 67% clip. For me, any prop that's hitting at about a 60% rate or better is kind of okay by me. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here from young Trey Jones in this situation. As I mentioned, the Dallas Mavericks, in terms of rebounds allowed, are giving up quite a few. If you look at the point guard position, this is what we call a DVP chart, defense versus position. You look at the point guard position over the last 7 games, they're giving up 7.5 rebounds per game to opposing point guards. That is the third most or third highest rebound per game average allowed to the point guard position by any team. So you got to love the matchup that you're seeing there. If you flip over to the shooting guard position, I like to look at both guard spots. You can see that they're also giving up about 7 rebounds per game to opposing shooting guards, which would be the 5th highest or 5th most rebounds per game give it up to shooting guards on average. So they're giving up a ton of boards to both the point guard and shooting guard position. So Trey Jones should find himself in a pretty good spot to collect some rebounds. So taking a look at some projections here, we're going to go over to RotoWire. If you guys want to get your hands on RotoWire, 2-day all access free pass, I got you. All you got to do is go down to the description of today's video. There is a special link that I've left for you down there, and you guys can take this new RotoWire dashboard for a spin. But taking a look at Trey Jones here, his little player prop projection card for the rebounds, you can see that the 4.74 projected rebounds is what we want to see over the last 10 10 games, 15 games or so, 70% hit rate. So you got to love the hit rates. You got to love the projection, projected for more than 1 rebound higher than where his line currently sits today at just 3.5. But I like to check more than one projection model when I have the ability to. And so in this case, we're going to pivot over here to the action projection tool, where you've got Trey Jones projected for 4.1 rebounds. Again, the line is 3.5, so another favorable projection. And we'll hit you with one more. We'll go over here to EV Analytics, another one of my favorite sites. You punch in Trey Jones' name there, and you can see he's projected for 4 rebounds. So universally projected to go over 3.5 boards. Projections aren't a lock or guarantee that he will go over, but I think we have to think about leaning toward the over or more in this case for Trey Jones to collect 4 or better on the rebounds. Which brings us to the other side of this game here. San Antonio versus Dallas. You got Daniel Gafford sitting at 10.5 points and assists. Gafford's been heating up lately. He's been increasing his role. He's been getting more involved offensively, and he's got a good matchup here against the San Antonio Spurs team that hasn't done a great job of defending against opposing bigs all season long. Just to further prove my point, if you take a look at the last 7 games here, the San Antonio Spurs in terms of points allowed to centers, well, no other team's giving up more points to opposing bigs than this San Antonio Spurs squad is. They're giving up nearly 30 points per game over the last 7 games. And so they continue to struggle on the defensive end against the center position. And so we can take advantage of that here by going with some Danny Gafford. So let's take a look and see if this is a plus EV play. So we'll go back to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. And what you're seeing me do here is pretty much my process. These are things that I look for, key indicators, factors that I weigh in, and we go with the data here. We're not trying to rub our crystal ball and look into the future and guess. We're using data and statistics and projections and things of that nature to help with our decision making. Is it a perfect process? No, but no process is perfect. Otherwise, it wouldn't be gambling at that point, right? So anyway, Daniel Gafford, 53.78% chance that he's going to go over 10.5 points and assists. So almost a 54% chance that he converts on the over at 10.5 points and dimes, which means there's still about a 46% chance that he will not go over 10.5 points and assists. So what I like to do is just keep myself in check, remain balanced and level-headed by risking about 1% of my entire bankroll on PrizePicks for each slip or entry that I make. And that way I'm not getting too ahead of myself, and I've set myself up for future success. And that's what this is all about, long-term profitability. So we're going to look at Gafford's hit rates now at 10.5 points and assists over here on props.cash. And you can see over the last 5 to 6 games, he's done a great job. 18, 12, 18, 21, 11. Falls short against Denver, but that's to be expected. Denver's a pretty tough team, unlike the San Antonio Spurs. But the last time that he played the Spurs was back here on Valentine's Day, and he showed some love at 10.5 points and assists, racking up 12 PA in that game against the Spurs. So overall, not too shabby when it comes to the hit rates. Doing a really good job, like I said, more recently, especially in the last 5 to 10 games, hitting at a 60+% hit rate. So now that we know that about Daniel Gafford, projection time. Let's go run the numbers on Gafford here. What do they have him projected for? RotoWire's got him projected up here at 11.7 points and assists, which puts him over, obviously, 10.5 by more than 1. So we like what we're seeing there. Let's check a second projection for Gafford. We want to be thorough here because each projection model, each projection system is just a little bit different. And in this case, Action Labs has more love for Daniel Gafford than RotoWire does. They got him projected at 13 points and assists. And then we'll take a look at EV Analytics as well. And you can see that Gafford is projected for 12.8, so more than 2 points and assists higher than where his line currently sits on PrizePicks at this 10.5 number. So more for Daniel Gafford is going to be the way that I would lean, which brings us to our last guy here, Jaylen Suggs of the Orlando Magic. And you got my Orlando Magic shirt here. We got Jaylen Suggs and Cole Anthony picture. We're going to talk about Jaylen Suggs. So hopefully He doesn't do me wrong. Hopefully he doesn't let me down. He's coming off of a little bit of a below average game, so I'm looking for a bounce back here from Jaylen Suggs. He's kind of taken over the lead point guard role. Him and Gary Harris have the backcourt locked down for the Orlando Magic. You've seen Markelle Fultz's role sort of diminish. Cole Anthony's coming off the bench, so Jaylen Suggs has been running the point for my Orlando Magic. He's at 12.5 points and assists. So let's go take a look at Jaylen Suggs here. We're going to go over to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer once again. Now, this is a plus EV play, but only slightly. But I do think this is one of those picks that as the day goes on, will pick up some more steam. He's at 13.5 on most of your sports books out there. Right now, you got about a 51.3% chance of him clearing 12.5 points and assists here. But what I like about this one is his consistency, especially when you factor in the collection of players that he'll be playing alongside here today or tonight. And you take a look at what he's done at home, where he's been historically better than he has been on the road. And so Jaylen Suggs here at 12.5 points and assists when Wendell Carter Jr., Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Gary Harris are all active. He's cleared this line in 15 out of 24 games. That's a 63% hit rate. So it kind of checks off that box. We want 60% hit rates or better. And he's averaging 14.1 points and assists. But here's where the magic happens. Pun totally intended, by the way. When we look at the home games for Jaylen Suggs, and they're going to be playing in Orlando tonight, so this is totally relevant information. You can see that his hit rates go up to 78%. He's gone over in 7 out of his last 9 games. And take a look at the last 15. He's gone over in 11 out of 15 there. So 73% hit rate and a 14.7 point per game average. And so the hit rates do get significantly better for Jaylen Suggs when he's playing in front of the Orlando Magic crowd. Now, as far as the matchup goes, the Charlotte Hornets defense, not very good. They haven't been good all season. They're a team that's essentially tanking at this point. So I'm not expecting much resistance here for Jaylen Suggs against this Charlotte Hornets team. 18th in total points allowed. They rank 24th in total assists allowed. So not a bad matchup whatsoever when you take a look at the DVP. So we're going to look at the last 7 games here. The Charlotte Hornets are giving up over 23 points per game, nearly 24 points per game to opposing point guards. And then they're giving up a healthy 8.5 assists per game here. So Jaylen Suggs should have plenty of opportunities to collect those points, collect those assists, and hopefully he soars past 12.5 PA for us today. So let's wrap this up for you and take a look at some projections on Jaylen Suggs, starting off with RotoWire. RotoWire's got a lot of love for Jaylen Suggs. Projected for 15.8 points and assists. So don't be surprised if this starts to pick up steam as we get closer and closer to tip-off. But the projection here, I love 15.8 versus the line of just 12.5 points and assists. Swinging things over here to Action Labs, where we're going to punch in Suggs' name there. 13.6, that still puts him well past 12.5, so I love what I'm seeing there. And then, of course, we're going to go back over here to EV Analytics. And when we punch in Suggs' name there, 14.4 projected points and assists. So he is a projection darling today. Like I said, hopefully he comes through clutch for us. For me, I'm leaning toward the over on Suggs. But you guys let me know what you think. Liking any of these picks? You hating any of these picks? Drop a comment down in the comment section below. 8-2 run. Let's try to keep it going on this small NBA slate. Happy Taco Tuesday. Keep your eyes peeled. They're going to be doing some different projection discounts throughout the day. It's a great way to build your bankroll. So let's take advantage and make it a profitable day. We'll see you guys inside Discord and Dub Club. Link down in the comment section, pinned below if you want to join a kick butt community. Good luck on all your picks, plays, and parlays. Peace.